Hi everyone, our discussion today is about dandruff, and I hope to see some of you live today. It's a Saturday morning session about hair, and it's going to be I think some of you have already attended the session of mine, but for those who've not attended, we're just having this special session of dandruff because we've seen a lot of queries coming in for dandruff. So that is what it is. I am Dr. Supriya and welcome to my show. It's a good doctor show, and you're going to have a discussion on dandruff. So of course you all do know that I'm a GOQii doctor. You all are aware that we have already started our step challenge. That is, India step challenge has already been started off, and I hope all of you have joined in. It's just doing 6,000 steps every day and you win some goodies or the other. And the total amount of goodies that we're giving out is close to 5 crore goodies that are going to be given out. Cash prize worth 5 lakh is also there. So I hope all of you are joining in and enjoying this particular time where you're actually staying fit and along with that also losing weight. So of course it has to be a very interactive session. I hope all of you will have a lot of queries for me in regards to dandruff as well. Of course some of you all have attended the session, so the ones who haven't, I'm just going to be discussing dandruff for those people. Okay, so let me just start off. There are close to 100 people right now, so I think it's a Saturday morning and everyone's just chilling and relaxing. So dandruff in itself is an issue, of course we know, as of the head, as what everybody knows it, that it's only an issue of the head, but that's not the case. Dandruff is basically a yeast infection. That's a fungi infection basically, and this fungi infection is there in our head, and this basically happens in people who have an oily scalp. It is believed that this happens in people who have dry scalp. That's not the case. People who have oily scalp but live in that dry environment tend to have more problems, of course, because fungi grow very well in these kind of environment, and that is one of the cases. So people who have an oily scalp will end up having more amount of dandruff issues. Now dandruff issues is not only confined to the head, it is also on the eyebrows, it can be on the beard, it can be on the back, anywhere where there's a very heavy sebaceous gland, and hair along with it. So that's where the yeast infection grows very well, and that is something we must take into account. Okay, can someone drop in a hi hello to me so I know that people have actually joined in? So my sessions are generally Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. So that's generally the session that I do, but it's the first time I'm doing an 11:30 show. So okay, so I'm going to continue explaining. Hi Savita. So I'm going to continue explaining the dandruff part of it. So what happens is, in our head basically an oily scalp is a part of it. Okay, so we have an oily scalp. On that oily scalp basically the fungi grows, and what basically happens is that the rate of those cells which are growing and getting dead are all one over the other. Okay, and that's how the dandruff becomes flaky and tends to chip off. Okay, and then tends to fall off. The complications with the dandruff would be, of course, you get acne on your head, you get it on your back. If you have it on the beard, you get it on the beard as well, and even on the head. So one of the major complications of a dandruff is basically you can get a lot more acne because of that, because your sebaceous glands are overactive below, you have yeast infection on top, and hence that particular environment is very good even for the bacteria to grow. So that's basically what happens with dandruff. Now people believe that in case of dandruff is a small treatment, so you can have mild, moderate to severe type of a dandruff, okay, depending on how much and how frequently do you get this dandruff issue. You must realize that dandruff issue is not 100% curable. You do have treatments because of which it will go away, but the tendency of getting the dandruff back is always there. So you have to keep on doing a regime. You have to follow a particular protocol of doing a dandruff treatment. So of course, if you have from mild to moderate, then in case of that cases, then you washing your hair itself helps you out. But if that's not the case, and if you tend to actually have like a moderate to severe case, then you have to use higher amount of anti-dandruff shampoos which contain ketoconazole. You have coal tar. All of these are a part of the dandruff issues. So then that has to be utilized. Okay, that has to be used on your head. So people very frequently ask me, what's the treatment? What's the treatment? So dandruff treatment can't be just done over, like, it can't be just be done like, oh, let me call you up and let me find out. No, the doctor has to check you, has to check the severity, because we need to know to what extent are we supposed to do the dandruff treatment, like till what time and till when are you going to get the entire treatment done. So that's very important for us to understand that it is not an overnight thing. You can't just put lemon and dahi on your hair and the problem is not going to go away. That's not the case. That's not how dandruff works. Hi Sarika. Hi Anju. Okay, I'm just going to on the fan. It's very hot. Okay. So, does anybody have any queries regarding dandruff right now? So one, I told you it's an yeast infection. Okay, dandruff is just not an infection of the dry scalp. It is basically an yeast infection. Yeast meaning it's a fungi infection. Secondly, this infection is not a curable infection for sure. Like it can't just, once it's gone away, it's not always going to go. You do require treatments every 2 or 3 months because they tend to come back again. It is not exclusively an infection of the head. It is of all. Like you can have it on the beard, you can have it on, even on eyelashes. People have it on eyelashes. You can have it on your eyebrows, on your beard. It's a very common infection. The complication of dandruff is that you will see people who have dandruff infection tend to have acne here. They have an acne problem here. They have an acne problem at the back. So wherever the dandruff tends to fall down, that's where the entire acne infection comes along. So one needs to take that into account and understand that as well, that because of your acne, because of your dandruff, you can even get acne issues which were not there earlier. Okay. Anybody has any queries? Okay. Okay. So, no. Your name is Mani Kanta. No, dandruff will not give you baldness. Of course, because if it's a very chronic dandruff, then the infection in the sebaceous glands will tend to hamper your hair growth. But per se, it was not going to. Okay. I hope it's better now. I hope. Thank you, Sarika, for letting me know that my thing was getting disconnected. So now I'm on Wi-Fi. Okay. Hi, Shri Pavan. Okay. I have more dandruff. Even I shampoo. I have thin hair and I'm scared that I will get bald. Okay. So see, dandruff is not going to be the issue for your baldness. Baldness is genetic, mainly genetic. Your mother, father, depending on whoever had it, is going to have a problem. But per se, you're not going to get bald alone because of dandruff. I would recommend all of you all to not use. I'm just going to give you all a brief treatment about what you can do for dandruff. When it comes to dandruff, don't tend to use Head and Shoulders. Don't tend to use anti-dandruff shampoos without a doctor's consultation. Please understand that when it comes to a dandruff shampoo, you basically need to see, there's like a protocol. There's a treatment protocol of like 2 months. Like the doctor will ask you to use an proper anti-dandruff medicated shampoo for say like 3 times a week. Then they're going to tell you to take it 2 times a week, then once a week. And then it's going to be a different protocol. So anti-dandruff shampoos, if you're between moderate to severe, you need to go meet a consultant. But if you're somewhere between mild to moderate, basically what I recommend people is those people to wash their hair every day with a pH balanced shampoo. Okay, you need to find out what is a pH balanced shampoo. A pH balanced shampoo, for example, I'm just giving you a name, which is like Sebamed. It's basically a pH balanced shampoo. So what it does is, for people who have dandruff, they have a very overactive sebaceous gland on their head, and they need to keep it clean all the time. Okay, so how do you keep it clean all the time? You have to wash your hair. So this washing of the hair should not include only water, but should include some form of a very mild cleanser. So what Sebamed has is a mild cleanser. So it basically balances the pH of your body, of your head. Okay. Okay, I was using fenugreek for removing bacteria of the dandruff. Is it fine to use or change anything for dandruff, Supriya ji? Shri Bhavan, I am basically a doctor. So for me, I am really not sure about how the fenugreeks are basically helping you out in your hair dandruff issue. But if it's cleaning your dandruff better, then I think you can go ahead with it. I'm going to close the door as well. Wait. I'm really sorry. Okay. So I don't know how fenugreek is actually helping your hair, but if you feel that the dandruff is reduced, then it's okay. But I would genuinely say that you need to use a shampoo that is pH balanced. So in the older times, pimple on my head many times I took treatment, but okay. 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 All right. So I think people have just joined in. So I'm just going to reiterate the entire thing about dandruff, just the key points. Dandruff is basically an issue of an overactive sebaceous gland of your head. It can come in your head, it can come on your eyebrows, it can come on your beard, it can come even on your eyelashes and on your back as well. This is the one of the things which is where dandruff affects. It basically affects any place where there is a heavy sebaceous gland secretion, that is heavy oil secretion, to what people believe that dandruff is basically a dry hair problem. No, dandruff is an oily base hair problem. Of course, a dry climate worsens the entire dandruff issue, but the climate can be dry, but the hair is basically oily. Okay, and this is nothing but an yeast infection. Okay, so you have to find out. So you need to understand that this is basically a fungi which is growing on your hair. Of course, it's not a problem. Fungi grows. This yeast is on everybody's hair, including people who do not have a dandruff issue. It's just that people who have a dandruff issue tend to have more amount of yeast production or yeast secretion, basically. So that is one thing. Secondly, you have mild, moderate to severe dandruff issues. The one who have moderate to severe need to go and consult a physician to find out what the problem is. Somebody who has a mild to moderate issue needs to wash their hair every day. You need to wash your hair every day with a pH balanced shampoo. Okay, so a shampoo has to be pH balanced. It is very important that you use a mild cleanser for your head. Someone asked me, yes, Shri Bhavan, it is an abroad brand, but you do get it in India as well. So it's one of, or you can even go to your pharmacist and just ask, or whatever is mentioned, it has to be a pH balanced cleanser. Basically, they call it more of cleansers and shampoos. These cleansers don't smell very nice and they don't have a very perfumed thing, or they don't lather too much, but they do the perfect job of just not over cleaning your scalp, because a dry scalp is equally bad for you. So hence it's going to help you out very well. Okay. Pratibha, you have been asking me a topic about pimple on the head. We're discussing about dandruff. So if you have dandruff, then that will help your pimple on the head to be reduced. Having headache problems, I think you should go and check with an eye doctor, because there's a very high possibility you will have a contact number or something of that kind also. So can we apply egg white on? So I am frankly speaking, the only thing that I have heard for dandruff people has been curd and lemon. People have found a difference with their dandruff with it, but I am really not sure about fenugreek. if you're saying fenugreek is working, it should be good. But if that is the case, then of course you can continue, because you could be in a mild state and probably the fenugreek is helping the pH balance happening on your hair. But as a doctor, I would provide is, or what I would speak about would be a medicated treatment, and the medicated treatment would be a Sebamed kind of a shampoo. Of course, it's just a brand name that I'm stating. You can obviously go to your local pharmacy and ask them as to, what shampoo can you use and everything. So that can be found out. So that is one thing. Then the next thing about dandruff is that I told you that some people get acne in the head because of dandruff issues. Now, those are called as seborrheic dermatitis. Because of the dermatitis, they're getting acne inside their head, and this becomes another problem altogether, and this requires a detailed treatment, and you have to consult a doctor, because it's just going to keep on increasing. One of the best thing for dandruff is understanding that your scalp needs to be clean. Your scalp, if it's clean, is not going to be overactive. But you can't use a shampoo like, say for example, if you're using a Pantene shampoo or a Head and Shoulder shampoo every day. That's not good for your hair, because it's going to dry out your hair. So you have to use a pH balance shampoo, or a mild cleanser is what they call it as. Okay, you can just ask your pharmacist as to where can I get a mild cleanser. Now that's for the dandruff thing. So yeah, I have pretty much covered what dandruff is, and how does it work, and what exactly happens. Those people who have dandruff issues will have some form of acne issues, and hence they should consult a physician to find out what the problem is exactly happening. In some cases, you will feel that your doctor has given you an anti-dandruff shampoo, and that anti-dandruff shampoo is not working. Now, this in such cases, it is going to be a problem of so you could have another problem like a psoriasis or eczema, which is a byproduct of urticaria. That means kuch to allergic reaction hai, and of course an allergic reaction is not going to go with an antifungal treatment. And do not lose hope. Go back to your doctor and tell them that this anti-dandruff shampoo is not working, because they are very similar in action. Like the entire look of a particular, the head would be very similar to that of an anti-dandruff or a dandruff issue, and hence your doctor will first try to give dandruff issue. Shri Pavan, I don't know of a natural shampoo. I am basically a cosmetologist. I'm sorry, I am not an Ayurvedic specialist. This is what I've heard and I've read, but I have never experimented about when it comes to curd and lemon. This is what I have heard, so I would not be the right person to tell you about a natural shampoo. But the one that I am used, or the one that we recommend, you just have to ask, or anybody, even if you want to use a natural shampoo, it has to be mentioned on that particular shampoo bottle. It is called as a pH balance shampoo. Okay, it's going to be called as a pH balance shampoo. All right. So that is one thing you need to take into consideration. So even if it's a natural shampoo, they have to mention pH balance. Even cleanser is okay. They can call it head cleanser. They need not call it shampoos, because these do not smell very good. Please understand, they don't smell very nice, and you're not going to feel very comfortable while using it. So that is one thing that you need to take into account. Oh, boring water is not good for your hair at all. It's going to really dry out your hair. People who have boring water, if you all can, at least for your hair, use AquaGuard water, or you get those RO filtered water. If yours is an RO filtered water, then if you can have that RO filtered water put in your house, then that would be helpful, because boring, it will not cause dandruff, but it does cause a lot of other problems to your hair. Okay, so for a moderate one, as of right now, you can just be washing your hair every day. There are multiple treatments of dandruff. Of course, it starts from ketoconazole, there's coal tar. So all of these treatments are used for hair. In case of anti-dandruff shampoos or cleansers is what we call it as. So yeah, that is going to be the case. Let me think if I missed out anything. Okay, so I think this is what I had to discuss about when it comes to dandruff issues. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to just reiterate the entire thing. Dandruff is an yeast infection, is a fungi infection. It tends to happen in extremely oily hair. You need to wash your hair every day with a pH balanced cleanser. It basically helps your hair clean out much better. You need not use fancy names or something. You can just go ask your pharmacist as for the best pH balanced shampoos or cleansers out there, and that should help you out better. Of course, people who have boring powder water, please tend to use like 10. That's hard water. Hard water is going to settle onto your hair and it's going to make it really bad. Okay, Sarika, I'm based in Mumbai and is oiling with coconut oil good for dandruff. So, thanks for the question, Sarika. The thing is that you need to understand when it comes to dandruff is that your hair is already very oily. And just let me tell you, in the older days, okay, when you have to go back to history, what they were doing about oiling their hair they were washing their hair first and then oiling it. What we tend to do is the other way around. They were never oiling their hair and then washing it, okay? They were never oiling their hair and then cleaning it off with a shampoo. They were basically washing their hair and then to trap the excess amount of, like, they would not let the pollution set into their hair, and that's when they were using the oils. We tend to use the other way around. So oiling of your hair is very good for your conditioning part of the shaft of the hair. For your scalp, oil does not really help. Of course, it does give you a very calm sensation and everything, but it really does not suck in the oil. Your hair follicles are basically dead protein basically, and they do not really take in a lot of oil, or they can't really use up the oil. So whatever food you eat is more important. As for coconut oil is good for dandruff, I don't think so that any oiling is going to help dandruff, because an oily scalp is bad for your hair. What you can do is you can oil your hair for 2 hours before you're going for a bath. Do not tend to have it overnight, because you tend to sleep on it and then becomes even worse for your hair and for your face. So do not tend to sleep on it. Do not tend to have an overnight application of coconut. You can, or any oil rather. You should just apply it for 2 hours and then just wash it off. That is one thing. Your food has to be very right. Consuming the right amount of food is more important for a healthy hair. Working out, combing of your hair is very important. Yeah, for dandruff, you need to make it a point that you comb your hair, because it helps the circulation of your hair. You need to drink enough water in the day. You also need to work out, because that helps in the circulation of your body, and that basically overall helps in everything else as well. Like, it will help the circulation, and hence the blood supply going to it is better, and hence the fighting capacity of your body is better. Okay. All right. So that is it for me today. Is there any other queries that you all have? So washing of your hair, yes, is very bad, and only people who have oily scalp do we recommend them to wash their hair every day. And as I'm saying again, we do it with a pH balanced shampoo, because it is very important that the layer of your hair is also maintained. The scalp has a pH balance that has to be maintained, and that is very important. Sushma, we do have other sessions where we are going to be discussing about hair loss. I have discussed earlier about the hair cycle. If you can just go back to one of my lectures which have hair cycle, basically it might help you understand what is happening. Maybe one day when we are holding a session on hair transplant, we can be discussing about, so your hair loss is a very similar hair loss to what is a testosterone based hair loss, or male pattern baldness is coming in a female because of the testosterone level. So your blood reports would be required to be seen, and it's a lot of other study behind it as well. Okay, so I'm going to take your leave for now, and thank you so much for your time. And as I say always, be kind to one another. Do one act of gratitude every day. And with GOQii, you have to be the force. So thank you so much. And I do keep having my general sessions on Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. and hope to see you all there as well. Okay, so thank you.